Hi, Courage. How are you? I've got a question about how does one formulate strategy per market? What are the things that one is supposed to consider when coming up with a strategy? From zero, how do you come up with a strategy?
Good question, man. And if you guys don't understand this, he used local language, but he's just basically asking how does someone come up with a strategy. So for someone to say, I have a strategy that I can start back testing, how does that come up, right? So to create a strategy, you first need to understand what technical analysis. Of course, there are strategies that you can do with fundamental analysis. The people who use news and things like that to create their strategies. But basically, if you are a day trader and if you are just starting up, I think the easiest way, of course, is just using technical analysis. So you can understand indicators or price action, right? So once you do that, to create a strategy, you are going to use a simple process. So there are different processes, but I'm going to give you one process, right? So I want you to understand a formula which is called the TAEE, right? So this is a formula that helped me in the beginning to start trading and start creating strategies, right? So the T stands for the trend, right? So the first thing that you need to do is to understand the trend of the market, right? So to understand the trend of the market, something that you can do is you need to be able to understand the concept of higher highs and lower highs. And so this is called an impulsive move. This is called a pullback. And then once you have this, you have another impulsive move here. You are expecting another pullback, another impulsive move, another pullback, another impulsive move. And this is the trend, right? So if you understand the trend, how the trend works, you are basically going to be ahead of the game, right? So the first thing is you need to understand the trend, right? So the second thing that you need to understand is the area of value, or let's just say support and resistance. So this is called area of value, right? So this is a zone where there's support and resistance. So once you understand area of value, the next thing that you are going to be looking for is the entry reason, right? And then the last E is the exit. So basically, a strategy is a set of rules, right? So the first rule is, how do I identify my trend? So for me, identifying my trend, I need to see a market which makes an impulsive move and then a pullback, and then the next impulsive move needs to break above this zone right here. This is how I know that this is an impulsive move, right? So the next is the area of value. What is the area of value? For me, it's this zone right here. This is the area of value because this is the previous zone where the market have reacted to in the market. Once I get this, the entry rule, for the entry rule, I need to wait for the market to come back into this zone. And at this point, I need to see some type of rejection. After that, I am going to enter, right? And then exit rules is my stop loss and my take profit. So that's how you create a strategy. So I will leave a link to a video, a step-by-step guide where I show you a strategy, this exact strategy that you can use in the market. Now, once you have these rules, the next step is going to be what? Back testing your strategy, right? And how do you back test your strategy? The way that you back test your strategy is you are going to go back into the market on TradingView, right? So the way that you are going to back test the strategy is very simple, right? So let's say the market have been doing this. I'm just going to be random here. Maybe I won't get trades on my artificial market right here. So let's say this is the market which is going to the upside, right? The way that you back test, right, is you take your journal or you take a piece of page, right, and then you are going to put two columns, right? You are going to put the column which says winner and then which says loser, right? So this is basically what you can do, right? So This column can be in a book, right? So the book will look like this. These are book lines, right? And they can be from the top to the bottom, right? And then you go back to the market, right? And you start looking from this, right? You say, okay, this was an impulsive move. This was my zone. The market came back and then it hits this zone right here. So if I had to buy here, so let's say I was buying here and I would put my stop loss and my take profit. Was this going to be a winning trade? If yes, you come to the winning zone and you place 1, all right? And then you go ahead again and say, okay, this was another trade. Maybe after this, you look into the market, you say, okay, this is where again it happened. So if the market was to reverse here, if I was to buy here, put my stop loss here, was I going to lose or win? I was going to lose. So this is where I'm going to say 1 to the loss side. Then keep going. You say, okay, this was a winning trade. 1, maybe this was another winning trade. 1, this was another winning trade. 1, maybe this was another losing trade. You put another 1. So at the end of the day, after like 100 trades, you can count these ones and maybe you can get 60, and you count this and you get 40. What does this mean? This means this strategy for you is winning 60% of the time. Is it profitable? Most likely, if you trade this flawlessly, getting a 60% win rate, and if you have a bigger risk to reward ratio, you are guaranteed to make money in the market. So you need to take all these necessary steps for you to come up with a strategy. But basically, what you need to understand, if you are a complete beginner and you haven't created a strategy yet, right? First of all, you want to identify your trend. Once you identify your trend, the next thing you want to identify an area of value. So you just don't want to say this is an uptrend, I'm just going to buy. No, find areas where you can buy. It can be support and resistance, it can be moving averages, it can be any other indicators. Then find your entry rules. Why are you placing that trade? Did you see a rejection? What do you see? Did you see a crossover on moving average or on RSI? What else? And then exit rules. So write all these rules down and you come up with your strategy. I will leave a link to a video where I show you a step-by-step strategy that you can start using in the market right now. And to see that, make sure you check out the description of the video. Thank you, and very good question, man. And I wish that everyone who comes up with these questions are going to come up with questions like this, because sometimes I ask people to ask questions and then type of questions that I get have nothing to do about trading. Like, for example, what kind of a car do you drive? Stick to trading, man.